G'day guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we're going to be going through my round 6 tips and predictions for season 2024 in the AFL. Sorry for not releasing last week's tips. I did the graphics and the thumbnail and everything, and then I just didn't get around to filming the video. I was a little bit busy last week. It was the last week of the holidays. I had stuff on. However, now back to the school schedule, I should be able to get into a more consistent routine. So I should not be skipping any tips videos from now on. If you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll get straight into the swing of things. So to kick off the round 6 games, we have the Saints and the Dogs going head to head in a 12th v 11th table clash on the Thursday night. Both teams home ground, obviously Marvel Stadium, so that's obviously where it's going to be played at Marvel Stadium, so I don't think the ground, the venue, will have really any impact on the result, as both teams obviously play their home games at Marvel Stadium. The Saints, however, played over at NG Stadium against the Giants in round 5, and the Dogs did actually play at Marvel Stadium in round 5 despite their shocking loss to the Bombers on the Friday night. The Dogs sitting 11th, the Saints sitting 12th. I feel like the Saints, honestly, maybe a little bit stiff sitting 12th. I feel like they've put up a really good effort in pretty much most of their results. Obviously, the Essendon game was a close finish and probably should have got the job done, just a bit unlucky at the end there. And then also a massive fight back against the Giants just last week to only lose by 1 point away from home against the best team in the league is very, very impressive. The Dogs coming off a really bad loss against the Bombers at home as well, which just isn't a good look. The Dogs have just really been able to beat the pretty easy teams this year so far, and they really haven't showed up against the good sides, like in round 1 when they versed the D's, they got absolutely hammered, and then the next week they absolutely hammered the Suns. So a bit of inconsistency for the Bulldogs. I feel like they're getting it done against the easy sides, but when it matters and when it really, you need to show that you're a contender for the Cup, they're just not really showing up to the table, showing up to the plate, and I feel like the Saints are going to be taking it home on the Thursday night by 22 points. I feel like they've been in pretty much every single one of their games, win or loss, and I feel like with a strong comeback against the Giants last week, they're going to carry that momentum in, and unfortunately I feel like the Dogs are going to pick up another loss. However, I think they should bounce back next week. Coming into the Friday night game, we have the Crows and the Bombers going to head at Adelaide Oval. Essendon just a really interesting side and really hard to tip for, really, the Bombers, because, well, they just got smashed by the Power in gather round by, 70 points, and then they come out and beat the Bulldogs by 30 points. So you really just don't know what the results are going to be when the Bombers do play. However, they're versing I wouldn't say in-form Adelaide outfit, however, coming off their first win of the season against the Blues at Marvel Stadium is really, really impressive. And because of that, I feel like they're going to carry that momentum into this week with the Friday clash against the Bombers. I'm going to back in the Crows to get this one done. I'm going to say they get it done by 15 points in a pretty close game, because I feel like Essendon, coming off a really, really good win against the Dogs, they're going to be up and about, but I feel like Adelaide's win is just a little bit more impressive in round 5, as they had to travel all the way down to Melbourne, play at Marvel Stadium against an undefeated Carlton outfit. Essendon, well, they were versing a very inconsistent Bulldogs side at Marvel Stadium as well, which is their home deck. So I feel like the Crows coming off a bit more of an impressive victory, and I feel like that will really get them over the line, and hopefully for my sake and for the Crows' sake, they can pick up 2 wins in a row. I'm going to back them in to get it done by 15. Collingwood v Port Adelaide to kick off our Saturday afternoon games, 1:45 p.m. at the MCG. The Pies sitting 13th on the table, the Power sitting 3rd, only having recorded that 1 loss. Power coming off a strong win against the Dockers, being down all day and then just getting up at the very last gasp. The Pies are fresh off a bye as well, so it's going to make things interesting. Before the bye, obviously they're coming off 2 wins in a row against Brisbane and also against the Hawks at gather round. However, the Pies just really haven't been too impressive in their victories. They played well against the Lions, I'll give them that. But then towards the end of that Hawks game, they really just did not show up. They were up by like 40 points at one stage against the Hawks, and they only ended up winning by 5 somehow. So I still am not convinced with Collingwood's performance. They're back at home this week, and they're going to have an absolute, like a really big chance to finally straighten up their season and to get their season back on track this Saturday afternoon. However, I'm going to be backing in the Power to get this one done away from home at the MCG. We saw them play really, really well against the Tigers, it was a few weeks back at the MCG, and you know the Power are a pretty decent side at this venue, and Collingwood I'm just not fully convinced yet. However, they're pretty much needing to win this game to get their season back on track and to straighten up their record. However, at the moment, the Power are looking really, really good. 4-1 at the moment. So the Power get up by 10 points away from home against the Pies. Carlton take on the Giants at Marvel Stadium for a 4:35 PM bounce on the Saturday. This is a really, really good clash. I don't know how on earth the AFL have predicted the schedules of the fixture, because I feel like all undefeated sides are playing each other at the moment. Carlton and GWS this Saturday arvo at Marvel Stadium. The Blues actually have the odds to win this one, obviously with their home ground advantage. However, they're sitting 6th on the table, and obviously they did just come off the Adelaide loss, so never mind, they're just not undefeated. I don't know what the hell I was thinking 30 seconds ago. The Giants obviously undefeated. They are 6-0 because of the opening round. The Giants looking really strong in first position. I'm going to back in the Giants to get this one done by 2 points. I feel like it's going to be another Carlton heartbreak. They lose by 2 points 2 weeks in a row. The Giants are just so strong. They played very, very well at Marvel Stadium. It's going to be a close one all day. However, I think the away team, the GWS Giants, just get up in the end. Saturday night footy at the Gabba. It is Brisbane and Geelong. 7:30 PM bounce. The Lions actually have the favourites to win this, which is absolutely crazy. The Cats are undefeated this season. They're 5-0 at the moment. They're sitting 2nd on the table. They're playing a brilliant brand of football. And the Lions are sitting 10th on the table and somehow have the odds to win it. Obviously, the home ground advantage is pretty big. However, this year, I don't think home ground advantage means much for the Lions. I don't think they've really claimed the Gabba as a fortress so far this year. Obviously, they've dropped a couple games there already this season. And I'm actually going to back in the away side once again to get up in this clash. I feel like Geelong have just been playing too strong of a brand of footy to really get knocked off by a pretty inconsistent Brisbane side. They're coming off a really good win against Melbourne in Melbourne, but now they're back at home. I really, really have hope in the Cats to keep their undefeated streak going. I think it's going to be a really good game though all day. I feel like the Cats only get up by 4 points, 5 points. It's going to be a close one, but I feel like the Cats just have that little bit of an edge in the end. I feel like they're going to get it done. To wrap up the Saturday games, we have the Western Derby, the Eagles and the Dockers. If you guys are new to the channel, I am a Dockers fan myself. We're sitting 7th on the table. Obviously, the Eagles coming off their first win of the victory against a depleted, injury-prone Richmond side at home for the Eagles. $5.75 the Eagles coming into this matchup compared to $1.14 for the Dockers. And honestly, I feel like we couldn't have versed the Eagles at a worse time for us. Obviously, we're playing really good footy, and very similar to the Saints, every game we have played this year, we've been in, and honestly, we are playing like a 5-0 side. I know we did get robbed against Carlton, however, obviously it's still a loss. We lost by 10 points, unfortunately, and then we just fell short to the Power in the end. So we pretty much choked 2 weeks in a row, which is no good, but like only losing by 3 points against Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval is such a good effort, and I feel like our brand of footy at the moment is definitely top 4 to 5 best brands of footy in the league at the moment. And obviously West Coast coming off a strong victory, their hopes are going to be high. However, I feel like we're just going to be too good for them on the day. They were versing a pretty, just sort of depleted, flat Richmond side. And they did play well, the Eagles, though. I'll give them that 100%, but I feel like the Dockers are just going to be an inch too strong. I reckon we get up by 29 points in Western Derby, 58, I think. Moving on to the Sunday games, there's just 2 this week as the byes do interrupt it. The Swans take on the Suns at the SCG at 1:05 PM. The Swans sitting 4th on the table. The Suns have just snuck into the 8 after round 5. The Suns, I'm actually backing them in to get it done by 2 points in an upset away from home. I'm pretty much backed in like all the away sides this video. However, I remember, I think it was last year or maybe the year before, they were coming into it as such big like favourites to lose, the Suns, and they somehow got it done at the SCG. Sydney obviously fresh off a bye as well. They've been playing a really good brand of footy. Just lost to the Tigers in the end at the G, where they weren't really playing their best footy, obviously. Back at home, they should get this job done, the Swans. However, I'm a man of upsets. I'm going to be backing in the Suns to get up by 2 points in Sydney. For the last game of the round, it is a bit of a nothing for the graveyard shift on 4:05 on the Sunday. It is North Melbourne taking on Hawthorn, so the opposite of undefeated sides. Neither of these guys have actually won a game this season yet at Marvel Stadium, so both sides playing at their home venue. North sitting 18th, Hawthorn sitting 17th. Hawthorn do have the favourites to win this one, and I feel like I'm going to be backing in, once again, the away side in this clash. I'm going to be backing in the Hawks to get it done. I'm going to say they get it done by 17 points. I feel like the Hawks, compare it to the North list, I feel like the Hawks just are a little bit better. They played well against Collingwood a couple of weeks back, obviously got thumped by the Suns on the weekend, which isn't probably the best for the Hawthorn mentality coming into this clash. However, North Melbourne have just been hopeless, just been looking absolutely hopeless. Hawthorn have actually been in a few of their games this year, and I feel like their list is just overall better. I reckon the Hawks should get this one done. So there's my round 6 tips and predictions, everybody. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would be much appreciated. So I'll be back to a pretty consistent schedule with videos, uploading, filming, everything, etc. Cheers for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.